All right, it's been a month. I've been running this SafuuX node. I'm gonna log on now and see how much money I am making from it. This is so exciting. Let's log on and check it out. Huh? Remote desktop can't connect to remote computer for one of these reasons. Remote access to the server is not enabled. Huh? The remote computer is turned off? What? Let's go to my dashboard here. My status is updating? What is going on? It stopped? What the? What is going on, Safuu community? It's Nathan B here, back again with another video for you. As you saw in that intro, I tried to log on to my SafuuX node after it was been running fine for 1 month. And I wanted to log on and see how many of those little SafuuX bad boys I'd been making. But I had no idea it had gone offline. So today's video, what I want to show you is how to set up some proactive monitoring on your virtual machine in Azure, and how you can get some alerts on your phone or even your email that can tell you when there's a problem with it and it potentially has gone offline or shut down. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so I've logged on to my Azure portal, to my subscription here, and you can see that my node is back up and running again, which is great. Okay, now everything that I'm going to talk about in this video is applicable to full nodes or light nodes. They're all the same when it comes to what we're going to do today. But as you can see, my node is back up and running, so I'm happy about that. But in this video, I'm going to go through and show you how to set up some proactive alerting that you can get some sort of alert on your cell phone or your mobile phone, which will tell you that something's wrong with the node. It's gone offline. We can't talk to it anymore. So then you can come in and restart it, see what's going on, at least have an idea of that it's gone down, and not wait a day, 2 days, until you log on like I did. Okay, now the first thing you're going to need to do is create what's called a Log Analytics Workspace. If you go up here in the top, you can search for the name of that, which in this case is Log Analytics Workspace. And then you should, under the services, you should be able to see the Log Analytics Workspace. In this case, open that up, and you want to come up here and create a new workspace. Okay, so I'm just going to change that to firstly to something that I want, which is going to be Safuu node. The reason why I'm just changing that is because that's one of the most important pieces here. Is what happens when you give it the name you give it will actually show up in the alert on your cell phone. So I want to give it something descriptive that I can see on the cell phone, comes up and says, hey, the node, the SafuuX node workspace is reporting that it's unresponsive. Okay, so we're going to see that a little later on. If I jump across to here, my subscription, yours may say Azure subscription 1 or something else, that whatever you set it up as. If you rename it, I've renamed mine to SafuuX. Under the resource group, I'm putting mine in the same resource group where my node lives. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and review that, and let's just click on create. Okay, let's click on create, and we'll wait for that to be deployed, and we'll come back when we can see that. All right, well, it's been deployed. I'm going to go back and click on my Log Analytics Workspace in here, and you can see that I have a SafuuX node workspace. Okay, that's really all I need to do with the Log Analytics Workspace service or Log Analytics service. My next step here is what I need to do is I need to go back to my virtual machines. Again, you can just type in virtual machines up here in the search field. All right, here's my node, which is my single full node. Could be a light node with multiple light nodes running on it. All right, so I'm going to go in here, and this time I want to go down in the middle pane here, down to monitoring. Okay, now under monitoring, you'll see insights. So if we want to click on insights, there's an enable button here. Now, what Insights does is it's going to go and install an agent on the virtual machine. In this case, it's our full node, right? So it's going to go and install an agent on that, and that agent is going to run and it's going to collect some data and push it to the insights through the Log Analytics Workspace, essentially. And then we're going to run some queries against that data eventually to get the information we want and set up the alert. So I'm going to go and enable that. Click on enable. Again, the same subscription. Remember, mine's called SafuuX. All right, I can see that in the drop down here. Now, under here, choose a Log Analytics Workspace. Remember, in the previous step, we created that. So I can come down here and I can see I have a SafuuX node workspace that we just created. I'm going to select that one. And next is just simply enable it. Now, as I said, what this is doing is it's saying here insights deployment in progress. So it's going out and it's deploying an agent on this node, right, for us to collect that those insights. So I'm gonna let this run because this actually takes around 5 to 10 minutes. So once this is done, I'll come back and we'll continue. All right, the next step we need to do here is you should be in the Insights section under Monitoring. Okay, now you might see this Get Started Performance Map and Health Preview options here, or tabs. If you do not, click on Refresh and then wait until that pops up. When it does pop up, you want to go ahead and click on the map view. Okay, a lot of this next steps are quite confusing, I would say. Well, could be a little confusing, but just pause the video, take your time, and go through and your own speed and just rewind it. But so what you want to do is just click on the map, click on refresh, and you should see something like this. Okay, so we have my Windows box, my SafuuX light node here. So what you want to do is you want to go across to this tab here called Log Events. Okay. Now, once you're in this Log Events, you want to look under here and you might see Event Type, and you might see this first one here, which is Heartbeat, and there's a count of 4. All right, click on that. Okay, so once we've clicked on Heartbeat, what you want to do next is you may see some heartbeats down here, and what a heartbeat is it's essentially remember I said there was a monitoring agent that got installed on your light node or your full node, and so it is reporting heartbeats back through insights to the Log Analytics service. Okay, so it's saying basically, you can see here, let me just zoom in here, all right, that it's saying, that was probably a bad zoom in, but you can see here UTC 820, this one, well, it should be every minute. I don't know why it's not every minute, but it should be every minute there. Anyway, I think it is every minute, yeah. It's just a little off there. You can see that it is 20, 21, 22, 23. So every minute there's going to be a heartbeat that gets sent from the agent to the log analytics just to say, hey, I'm still here. I'm still up. So we're going to take that data, and if that condition doesn't happen, then we're gonna log on it. So to do that, what you want to do is you want to add this line in here. Okay, so you can pause it, you can just add that in and add a 5 minutes here. Okay, so once I add that in there, I can run, and it's going to say, give me all the heartbeats in the last 5 minutes that's happened on this node. And I've just set this up for you live, so it doesn't have a lot of heartbeats, but as I said, this will run every single minute. All right, so the next step is, once you have that line in there, you want to go over here and do a new alert rule. Okay, so click on new alert rule. All right, okay, so up the top here, you're going to have scope. Scope is going to be our node. Okay, so that's the scope, meaning that's the scope, the source, where we're pulling that information from. All right, so if we go to condition, we have our query already in there. All right, which is totally fine. If we scroll down here, what we want to do is we want to change, we can leave this, the measurements in there are fine. If you scroll down here and you do the option of equals to and add the value of 0 to say if it equals, 0, so anything, there's no heartbeats coming in the 5 minutes, then we're going to hit this, hit the condition. Okay, so everything else is fine for that as default. You can leave it, so we want to click on next. Okay, the next step here is to create an action. Right, we've got our scope, which is our node. We've got our condition, which is if we don't get a heartbeat in 5 minutes, then do something, then move on to the next step, which is create an action. All right, so let's click on create action group. Okay, similar stuff which we've done before. You've got your subscription, you've got your resource group, that is all fine. Now in the action group here name, what we can do is we can call it a SafuuX node alert. That'll do. And display name is fine as well. Okay, so let's click on, move on to notifications. And so in the notification section, you can pick, well, I'm gonna pick this last one, because this is what I'm interested in, to notify my email, to do an SMS push. That's what I'm interested in. So if I then call this, email, and just SMS will do, and then I can click on edit here. Okay, so I'm going to give my email as SafuuX@hotmail. Okay, and SMS, I'm going to put in mine, but I guess I'll blank that out so you won't be able to see anything. All right, okay. And also here I noticed that you can actually do, get notified in the Authenticator app or the mobile app. I think that is actually. But let's just, that's all I want for this. So let's click on OK there, and let's just go next. I don't want anything in that, and I'm just going to go on to next, and I'm going to click on, what I might do here is I might actually test it. Okay, so I'm going to test this, sample, select sample type, activity, Sure, that'll do. Activity log alert, and let's just do test. All right, so it's sending out the email and SMS message now, and I happen to have the mail app. All right, so I can check my cell phone now, see if I got the SMS. It looks like I did. Yeah, so I got a test alert. Let's just see this email once it finishes, and we'll check that out as well. Okay, it did come up. You can see here that, yeah, an alert was triggered. It looks like it's just a complete test one, but that's fine. Okay, so it's working. I'll delete that. Okay, so let's just cancel that, stop that. Okay, all right, so I'm happy with that. It worked, and I'm going to create that now. This is my action group. Okay, so I've got my action group. Now I'm going to go across to details here, and all this is default. That is fine. Okay, so now we looked under the alert rule details, and I'm going to add this as a critical 0 severity, because if my SafuuX node or light node has gone down, this is critical in my opinion. I want to get on this quickly and see what's going on. I'll start it up. So Safuu. I'm just going to call it SafuuX node down. Just going to leave, it doesn't matter, you can put something else in there. So let's review and create that one now. Okay, this is an important section here. So as you can see here, this one condition, the total cost of this is $1.50 US. Okay, so what that means is that it doesn't cost you $1.50 and that's it. It means that every time that alert flags, it's going to cost you $1.50. And in my opinion, that is completely worth it. And, hopefully this never does fire, right? Let's create that. Okay, so I see that the alert rule has been created. Let's go back to the virtual machine. That's fine, we can discard all that. You can go back to your node, and we can go down to alerts now. And I'm just going to refresh this and see if anything has come up. It hasn't here within the virtual machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump across to Azure Monitor. And again, you can search for Azure Monitor up here. I'm sure it comes up with Azure Monitor like that. Yeah, it's just called Monitor. So let's click on that. Now in Monitor, we want to go down to Alerts, and we can try and refresh, see if anything. Okay, so we don't have any alerts yet because the condition hasn't happened yet, which means that the VM is shut down. But let's go across and go to the alert rules. Okay, good. So if I refresh that, I see that I have a SafuuX node is down, and I have my severity as critical, and it's enabled. Okay, great. Everything looks good from there. I'm going to go back to my node here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my node, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut this guy down. All right, so simulating, a failure and offline. And so what you want to do is to test this out is to go back to Monitor, go back to Alerts, and sit here. I'm expecting there to be a line item here that's a critical event. In 5 minutes time that, that condition has happened. There's been, for 5 minutes, we have missed heartbeats to that node, to that SafuuX node, and it's gone down. So I'm gonna pause it here, and I'll come back when, I see that event, and I'll show you. as you can see, I have some alerts here. I have some critical alerts. I let it run, and you can see here that there's four line items here, and they run. There we go. There's another one coming in on my cell phone. So you're going to get that sound, or whatever sound you have, you're going to get a notification on your cell phone that something's going on. If I refresh now, no, it hasn't come in yet, that one, but you can see that these run up every 5 minutes. Okay, so every 5 minutes it's going to cost you $1.50 if you don't check it out, but hey, it's worth it. Let me check my email here, and I also see, yeah, I got another alert there as well. So, and there it is there. So that's number 6. Excuse me, number 5. So yeah, so I mentioned the costs, $1.50 for each one of these. The other cost that you may be thinking, like, what is this going to cost overall for something like this? So I've covered the alerts themselves, but there is the Log Analytics Workspace and storing that data. So you can bring up this Azure calculator. There is the URL up there. Now, once you find and add Azure Monitor, add your region, you can go under there's a Log Analytics section here, and you can select here, which is Estimate Data Volume for Monitoring VMs. That's what we have. Okay, so I have one there already. So it gives you this estimate of how much space that you should expect for one virtual machine. Right, so this is the minimum amount, and the maximum amount is up to 0.1 gigabytes per day. So if we put that 0.1 gigabytes per day times 30, the number here is $2.30. Well, it's $2.30 per day, so it doesn't even cost you anything. I think that it's such a low amount of data that they don't charge you, or it could be in the cents. So I think it's pretty low. Even $2.30 a month for me, I'm okay with that, because it's important to get the monitoring, get these alerts if something goes down, because it's going to cost you a lot more if your node is offline for a couple of days. Right, so that's all I had for this video. Sorry, it's a little long. I'm thinking of doing more videos on extra alerts. Right, so as we go into testnet, thinking about maybe looking at resourcing on the application, how to monitor that, maybe Windows itself, and add that to the same sort of queries that we have today. But this gets it started. So thanks for watching. I'll end it now. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.